Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the Senate, can I get your attention for a second? Because I know it's late in the day, and we hope to wrap up these vetoes by the end of the day. But I think we need to pause and talk about this one veto for a minute, because I really think it has reflected poorly on our state. It has become a national story. And in my 14 years of service, I would call it the most cruel, outrageous, and insensitive veto I have ever seen. And the message itself was just incredible. I literally had to read it 2 or 3 times to make sure it was not a mistake. I read these veto messages Saturday before last, middle of the night. I got up about 2 o'clock, couldn't sleep, and I read this one, and then over the course of the next day, the next Monday, we had a big press event about the Arts Commission, and I remember talking to some of the staff, and I said, what is up with the rape crisis money? Did I read that correctly? And we were all just shaking our heads. And then to make matters worse, let me read you the veto message first of all. And there are a lot of things in here, but let me read you the veto message. I'm vetoing each of the earmarks at the DHEC's budgets. Each of these lines attempt to serve a portion of our population for which we extend our sympathy and encouragement. But nevertheless, it is only a small portion of South Carolina's chronically ill or abused. Overall, these special add-on lines distract from the agency's broader mission of protecting South Carolina's public health. Each new special interest that wins an earmark takes more of DHEC's attention away from its overall mission. Members of the Senate, sexual assault has been deemed not only a public health issue, a public health epidemic by many World Health Organizations. And sadly, in South Carolina, it may come as no surprise to you that we are way above the national average in statistics like sexual assault and domestic violence. And these 15 rape crisis centers spread through every region of the state provide invaluable support to our friends, our constituents, people that are in a time of need. They go in and help work with law enforcement. They're that person that helps them go through that hospital for the most horrific follow-through of a test that they have to take after they've been raped. They help go through the court center. And as the good senator from Macomb, Senator Alexander, said, their funding has been cut, double-digit cuts over the last few years, and we're trying to restore that with recurring and non-reoccurring money. This is not the first time we've done that. And then for the governor yesterday to have the audacity to call victims of rape, victims of sexual assault, special interest groups, I am embarrassed by that statement. Governor, I hope you're listening, because you need to spend a little less time on Facebook and spend a little more time on being a stateswoman and a governor. I am embarrassed by that statement. It has made national news, and you should be ashamed of yourself, and you should come out and issue an apology today. These women and sometimes men, these children, they are victims and they are survivors, and we owe them our deepest not only support, we owe them the funding for these rape crisis centers so that we can continue to operate as their funding has gone down. Sexual assault has gone up in South Carolina. We always lead the nation in domestic violence. In most cases, women being attacked by men. Just last weekend, a sexual rape assault center here in the Midlands had multiple visits, as they didn't even know whether or not they were going to have the funding to continue to exist. So, Governor, you should be ashamed of this veto. I don't know who read this message. And then for you to come out yesterday and call them a special interest group, I suggest to my teenagers sometimes, stay off Facebook. It'll get you in trouble. And Governor, I think you should stay off Facebook and spend a little more time governing. Members of the Senate, I'm asking you that we send a statement to the people of South Carolina, to all 46 counties, to rape victims, to survivors, to their families. Let's override this veto. Let's do it unanimously, and let's send a message downstairs. This is foolishness. This is embarrassing, and I ask your help for a strong override vote today.